Yes, it goes with the appellation Salt of the Nation. Created 24 years ago, Ebonyi State is one of the very vibrant states in the southeast and, of course, on the Nigerian scene. On this special edition of the program, we'll beam our spotlight on the activities of the present administration under the able leadership of His Excellency Engineer David Weze Mahi. But that will be through the eyes and ears of one saddled with a task. You'll meet him in a moment. My name is Blessing Abu, and the program is On the Spot on NTA News 24. Thank you for tuning in. My guest graduated as a barrister at law in 2002 from Abia State University, Uchenna. And before being called to the Nigerian bar, he worked as a solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria in 2004. And he was also called upon by his people to contest election for the State House of Assembly. So between 2007 and 2011, he served as chief whip in the State House of Assembly. Well, further tasks awaited him at the higher level, and for him, he also answered that call. We'll be bringing to you in a moment someone who has served in different ministries. Well, also served as Committee on the Justice and Judiciary for the first quarter of the tenure, and Finance and Appropriation for the second quarter. For this gentleman, speaking for the state is no big deal because he has also seen activities at the state level on a bigger note for his assignments. I'd like to welcome the Commissioner for Human Capital Development and Monitoring of Ebonyi State, Barrister Orji, Uchenna. Orji is also the Commissioner for Information. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so very much, Blessing.
Ebonyi State, like I said, is a vibrant state in the southeast and also on the national scene, pulling its weight. I'm sure people want to remember Abakaliki rice. People want to remember some other wonderful things that the states have been doing or getting into over the years. 24 years on after its creation, how would you describe Ebonyi State in terms of development?
I would say that by the very special grace of God, Ebonyi State really now is a signpost of excellence, is a flagship of excellence. Going by what the governor of Ebonyi State, His Excellency Engineer Chief David Weze Mahi, has done for the last 5 years. He came on board on exactly on the 29th day of May 2015 and rolled out a lot of programs, having really been around the state, the corridors of power, as a party chairman, which he was for many years, and as a deputy governor, which he was consecutively, and eventually he contested for governorship. And a lot of factors made him to develop a lot of programs. And those factors are the fact that we were coming from the background of a neglected state, a state where we had a lot of infrastructural deficits. Human capital development was very poor. We were neglected. In the ladder of economic development, we are lowest. And the governor felt he needed to develop the state, in a hurry. So he had to develop a lot of programs, and he had to prioritize the programs, to include infrastructure, to include security, to include human capital development, to include health, and also education, among others. Of course, the issue of beautifying our state was also part of the issues in the blueprint. So he had to move, and in doing that, our infrastructure was foremost in the priority. And that has to do with developing our road, developing the entire metropolis, the local communities, connecting them with good road, with water, with light, and all of that. And also ensuring health across board, and education, so that our people will have the opportunity of that actual human capital development. So the governor had to roll his plan, and it started by aggressive road construction. I had to introduce, a form of road construction that is called concrete pavement. That is 8 inches concrete pavement. And of course, it's a novelty. It has never happened anywhere, any state.
Why was he interested in that particular
Yeah, because of the texture or the nature of our soil. He saw that as a civil engineer, who is passionate about his people. So he felt that road construction, concrete pavement would be the actual solution to the problems of the state, road problems of the state. So when he did introduce it, so he had to design a kind of a road network that will really affect the entire communities, including the 30 local government areas. So for every local government, he had to introduce a 8 inches concrete pavement for 25 kilometers. That he did for the 30 local government areas. And where road was, bridge was required, he had to do bridge for such places. And again, within the capital territory, it was like the whole place was in a shambles. The road system was in a shambles. So he had to really fix them by ensuring that all the roads were tarred within the, the
So
metro.
all the roads in Ebonyi,
All the
especially
roads,
capital,
especially the capital, and the metro, the satellite towns, that is Afipo, Onwika, and all of that, have been tarred.
all of them.
All of them have been tarred as I speak with you. And some of them are with concrete pavement, some are nylon tile. But beyond this, he also feels that every road coming to Ebonyi State, whether it's federal or a state road, should be done. So he had to tar all the roads, the Enugu-Abakaliki Road, the Afipo-Abakaliki Road, the one coming from linking us to Cross River, linking us to Benue State, so he had to tar them. Most of these roads are really federal roads. Okay. And this is what the governor has in the area of road construction.
I know the governor is pushing through all of this and also having an all-inclusive governance in all these areas that you've talked about, roads. Now, let's get to power, because I know for a state that is looking into aspects of industry, I know from issue of agriculture, especially we're talking about rice, which I mentioned, there are other aspects to using power. And the state claims, okay, to have taken care of issue of power as well. Now, the people of Afipo North and Afipo South, they've been crying over power for the past 5 years. Is the government not interested in looking at this one, at least to garner support in terms of pushing for industrialization in that area?
Yeah, you would know that power has to do with the federal government project. Sure. It's in the exclusive list. However, the governor has really intervened in all the communities with the issue of street lights, so that it can enable trade in the night especially, and also to beautify all the communities concerned. So down there in the local government, that is Afipo or South Afipo or not, it has put up not less than a 20-kilometer street light that shines 6 to 6, that doesn't stop, I tell you. So that means that if the governor has the opportunity of putting up power, the national grid, he would always do. And I can tell you that people are celebrating what they never saw in the history of that area, celebrating good roads, celebrating light, that is power, especially in the night. And I can tell you that where electrification is required, that the governor has also done that, to enable them connect to the national grid. And even the issue of national grid has been assisting by making financial interventions to ensure that those communities connect to national grid. Okay. So,
let's talk health.
Yes.
Health is one area that most state governments want to look into, especially these days of climate change. We have also other areas of ecological diseases recurring these days. I'll start off with that aspect of the outbreak of Lassa fever, of the recent one. And of course, there was a case sometimes last year with Ebonyi State. Also, that same last year, there was issue of yellow fever. And also, there's several things that the state government is trying to take on in terms of promoting good health. Tell us about that and what you've been able to do to actually address the issue. We've not recorded any recent case apart from that first one anyway.
Yeah, Lassa fever is actually a national menace that happens not only in Ebonyi State but other parts of the Federation. But the governor, in tackling the matter and in taking the bull by the horn, had to construct a facility that would help in preventing or managing the situation. That is the Lassa fever menace. So he had to construct what we call virology center, and that is the biggest in the Southeast, the only in the Southeast, and one of the biggest in Nigeria. And I can tell you, as I speak with you, any case of Lassa fever that is discovered in a boy is actually tracked immediately, and the person will be taken to the virology center. And I think we've had about 90% success in the management of the situation. So we are no longer afraid of Lassa fever. The governor actually believes in proactive or preventive measures other than hitting the matter when it is already late. So the people that were affected by Lassa fever, I'm sure the mortality case has reduced to the barest minimum. But beyond this, the governor feels that health is very critical to the economic development of any given state. So he has comprehensively addressed the issue of health. We have about 13 general hospitals that he has constructed, or in some cases completed, because some of them started in the administration of the last governor. And again, I can tell you that those general hospitals are being furnished as I speak with you. The idea is to bring about secondary medical attention to people in the state. Also, we have primary health care that is scattered across the world.
All functional?
Functional. They are
Up
functional.
to the hinterland?
Yes, up to the hinterland. The idea of the governor is that there are a number of cases that wouldn't need to be taken to the tertiary hospital, even the secondary hospital. So he will think that those in the rural community will have to access the primary health care very easily. So he has really attended to the issue of primary health care, secondary health care, even the issue of tertiary health care. His plan, which he has commenced to do, is to have the best medical college or college of medicine in the whole federation. And this college of medicine is to take care of the issue of all these terminal diseases, the case of cancer, and all of them, all those terminal diseases. So he thinks that Ebonyi State will be a destination where you can come and you don't need to go abroad to take care of all such cases. So he's building a very wonderful college of medicine that will be one of the best in the federation. And it's really working as I speak with you. I mean, the construction work is going on as I speak with you.
Right, sir, Honorable Orji, Uchenna Orji. We'll go in on the break now. When we return, we'll take a look at your principal's outlook for zero oil, beyond the oil. I know that is something he's passionate about. We'll also look at your own portfolio too, which is looking at human capital development. How critical is it at this point in time for us to take Ebonyi to the desired spots on the national scene? You're watching On the Spot, and my guest is the Commissioner for Information and also is the Acting Commissioner for Human Capital Development and Monitoring. That's for Ebonyi State. We'll be right back after this break.
Advertising your goods and services on the right channel gives you an edge over your competitors. NTA News 24 has all the platforms for your target audience. The station is on DSTV channel 419, GoTV channel 46, StarTimes channel 101, and Free TV channel 703. With our digital format and wide range, we can reach your customers in next to no time. We are eager to promote your business, goods, and services. So partner with us for a very rewarding business experience. For more information, please call Henry on 0803-379-0884 or visit our office at NTA Headquarters, Area 11, Garki, Abuja. NTA News 24. News and more news.
Welcome back. If you just tuned in, the program is On the Spot, and I still have my guest, Right Honorable Barrister Orji, Uchenna Orji, on set. Honorable Commissioner, let's take a look at the area of your principal looking at zero oil outlook. What is in the offing for the people? And why, especially, he made this statement at the UNN. Of course, he's always had that at the back of his mind, but he actually made a statement to recently when he was invited as a keynote speaker at UNN Founders Day. Beyond oil, that is what Nigeria too is looking at. How is he hoping to work on this?
Yeah, the whole idea is issue of diversification of the economy. We had to look at what Nigeria was before 1960 or shortly after 1960 and what it is now in terms of the economy, in terms of sources of our economic growth. Now, we are looking at a situation whereby Ebonyi State will have to diversify. not bearing in mind that one day oil will extinguish, or at best we won't be having enough to take from the federal allocation. And so we would need to diversify in the area of agriculture, in the area of solid mineral, in the area of actual entrepreneurship and industrialization. So the governor's thinking is that we have to prepare our mind, the mind of our people, their mindset, for us to do something with their hands so that we have other sources of economic growth. In advanced countries of the world, they don't rely on oil. And so we have to think towards that because...
How is he hoping to achieve this? He has just barely 4 years to go.
Yeah, it is issue of institutionalizing the whole processes so that it is continuous even after his tenure. Now, the issue of solid mineral development, you know, Ebonyi State has advantage in the area of solid mineral. How do we exploit this opportunity, develop it, you know, engage investors so that our people can be employed? That way, a lot of people will go into industrialization. The issue of agriculture, how do we mechanize it? How do we ensure that people, you know, take advantage of the opportunities we have as a state in the area of agriculture so that they can get engaged and can be employers of labor. In the area of entrepreneurship, of course, I'm going to talk about that. He has introduced quite a lot in the area of entrepreneurship. That means that when every person is contributing, you know, or fending for himself or herself, you know, the per capita income of that state will increase, and that will bring about real economic development. You know, there is a difference between economic growth and economic development. It is economic development when the per capita income of every person is above. But when you have something to do, there's what we call second address system. Even if you're a civil servant, a public officer, you need to have something to do. When we do that,
without being encouraged in the state, without you saying, okay, they are making use of one means opportunity to actually work out their own extra income?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The governor has given a lot of opportunities for even civil servants in all classes of people to have something to do other than that normal career that they have. That way, you will be putting food on the table. There will be food sufficiency, you know, and they will be self-reliant. And when this is done, revenue will increase, revenue generation sources will also increase and multiply. And when that is done, we wouldn't need to rely on oil. And again, the governor is also thinking about advancing our state in the area of technological development. And that's why, as I speak with you, we are trying to work on what we call electric kind of
yes, I think
tricycle,
I have that. Electric, you know, tricycles for transport to cushion the transport.
So we are using that as a litmus test to see what we can do without oil in Ebonyi State.
Well, which brings me back to the question I asked about the issue of power, because if you're going to be having electricity to power some of these ones, what are the efforts geared towards this?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, in the area of electricity, you know, we did start with you know, powering our street light with diesel. But we now went towards the solar energy, and that is already dominating the power source of Ebonyi State, and that is really helping a lot. But we are thinking of a way of making it to be sophisticated. We are really engaging experts to see what we can do differently from what we have to sustain that energy source, that is solar system, you know, in Ebonyi State.
Okay, with development comes aspect of security, and I'm sure with issues of insecurity generally on the landscape, how is Ebonyi poised to tackle this? I know your principal, of course, being the chair for the Southeast Governors Forum, rose from a meeting recently, and they're talking about security matters in the region. But then, Ebonyi State's aspect of security.
Yeah, thank you. I will not speak about what the decisions that are being made at the Southeast region. I can only competently speak about Ebonyi State. But let me mention that Ebonyi State is about the safest state in Nigeria in the area of security. Well, the governor is thinking not just about fortifying the security agencies, but also about bringing about social security, getting employment for the people. As I speak with you, Ebonyi State is like a construction site. All the local government areas, you see one construction going on the other. And the governor is using basically 90% the indigenous. Really? And the issue of capital flight, we're discouraging it by involving engineers, civil engineers within the state to really do our construction work. And apart from construction work, agricultural programs and so many other programs, including entrepreneurship program that the governor did introduce, has actually reduced the menace of insecurity in our state. I can tell you, even as a commissioner, I can walk through the street and nothing happens.
What is the greatest burden in terms of putting all of this together on your principal's mind? getting to see to the completion of most of this project? What is his greatest worry?
Yeah, well, one would say finance is an issue, but he has got a secret. He has got a secret, he has got a passion. I call him a man that has the 3 E's of leadership. He has the education, he has the exposure, he has the experience. And with this experience, education, and exposure coupled with the passion, he has been doing a lot of things extraordinarily well, such that where you think that funding is a problem, you see that he would just overcome it. So he's deploying the issue of a direct labor work in Ebonyi State is really affecting, the way he does things. And again, the issue of monitoring and evaluation. Whatever he's doing, it must be done very well. Quality assurance is very critical. And so despite the paucity of funding, he has deployed the ingenuity of his capacity to ensure that, the little we have is being used, to achieve a lot of results. So I'm assuring you that all the projects that he has started, he will complete. That is what he declared. So many projects. Okay. We have airport project, we have a stadium project, we have dualization of federal highways. We have extra 8 flyovers to be done. The governor has just done 3 flyovers. I can tell you, it's the only in Ebonyi State that you can see flyovers, the type that trucks can fly through. And he has assured that in the next few years, apart from Lagos and Abuja, Ebonyi will be the next state that will have the highest number of flyovers. Okay. His idea is to beautify the place, to attract creative industry, to attract investment, to ensure that people from outside the world come and have that sense, that feeling that, yes, Ebonyi State is a heaven for them to invest. Okay.
Right Honorable, clear this area for us. You've already listed some of the projects that His Excellency is already involved in, from airport to stadium to dualization of roads. Aspect of the airport that is trying to come up, there are hues and cries about lands being taken over without any means to compensate the people. Clear the light on this.
Yeah, I want to tell you something. There's nothing you can do in this world. Even the most perfect thing in this world that people will not say or will not agitate against it. The governor, when he thought of citing this airport project, the central part of Ebonyi State, he had to seek the consent of the landowners. He did seek the consent and obtained the consent. And further to that, he had to apply to the federal government, and they did issue. And of course, the conditions for you to apply. You have to give evidence of acceptance by the people. The people actually did accept and did the end for this airport to come to the place. But in the course of all of this, you would not expect that nobody would say, I needed to be compensated. So some enemies of progress and some other people who are hiding on some political inclinations are just fanning embers of agitation.
Is that the same issue with the market cry too?
There is no market cry issue. As I speak with you, people are already willingly, happily going to the new market, national market. That national market is the best in the Southeast. It's one of the best in the Federation. Now, some of them are only saying that, they needed time. They needed time to really prepare and pack to the place, because of 1 or 2 things that is needed. But that is not to say that there is any agitation by people. Before, when people did not understand the importance of this, when it was initially introduced, so there was somewhat an agitation. But as I speak with everybody, the agitation now is that they want to be accommodated in that new national market.
But Barrister Orji, you've been in the governance circle for a period. I'm sure you'll be able to speak about the people's outlook for your principal, and even in him too, listening. How do you marry that, and how would you describe the relationship from the governor to the people? Acceptance, briefly.
The governor has the widest acceptability as far as the history of Ebonyi State is concerned among the governors, among the leaders. One, he's in tune, and very much in tune with all the leaders, former leaders, in tune with the entire place. Do you know why? He's actually doing what the common masses want. I tell you that in Ebonyi State, even as a commissioner, you can move around. People will be hailing you. They'll be calling you Akobaroha. That means the name of the governor. Okay. Because he has done tremendously well. Ebonyi State now is like a Dubai of Nigeria. Wonderful. By our standard, we have what is called the President Mohammed Buhari light tunnel. That light tunnel, I have never seen anywhere it is in Nigeria.
So where is it located?
It is located within the metropolis. Okay. We have what is called a ecumenical center. That ecumenical center I'm sure it's the biggest ecumenical center ever built by any government. It's bigger than the Christian Ecumenical Center here in Abuja.
Really?
We have the shopping mall. That shopping mall is we call it the microcosm of the microcosm of the macrocosm of Dubai.
What would you like to see for Ebonyi? Because by then you'll be celebrating 24 years come October.
The governor says that by the time he'll be bowing out in 2023, he wants to see a Ebonyi state that is educationally developed, has all the health facilities. A Ebonyi state that is actually economically developed in the sense that the people within Ebonyi state, the inhabitants, will be prosperous.
Yes. So come 2023, what would you like to see under the administration as they hand over to the next government?
The governor of Ebonyi state is already handing over a prosperous state to the next or successive governments. What we are praying is for somebody that will come and be responsible to the people. Actually, the shoes of the governor, the shoe is very, very big. I'm not expecting that somebody can wear that shoe comfortably.
But somebody must wear the shoe.
Yes, I'm just expecting somebody to wear it and be very accountable to the people. It's really a man of extraordinary ability. He's a man that has a very high intellectual capacity. He's a man that you can really at any time in Africa say this is a world-class leader.
Honorable Commissioner, Right Honorable Barrister Orji Uchenna Orji, Commissioner for Information and State Orientation, and also Acting Commissioner for Human Capital Development. Thank you very much for coming on the spot. And monitoring, of course. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And we wish you well in your assignments, and also wish the states all the very best in the very big projects that is undertaking. Thank you for coming on the spot.
Thank you so very much. Blessing.
And we also appreciate you for watching. Next time, it will be with another interesting guest as well. My name is Blessing Abu. Goodbye.